it looks like Marvel's Brave New World is going to start looking an awful lot like the old one pretty soon. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. In our last video here on Toontown TV, we discussed the ongoing issues surrounding Captain America Brave New World. And those mostly center around Marvel's inability to create a cut of this movie that doesn't make audiences lose their ever-loving minds with rage and disgust.
Fools! Idiots! Imbeciles!
Disney Marvel has been on a downward spiral ever since Avengers Endgame, and their attempts to right the ship might be a little too late. Whereas once the Marvel brand was synonymous with quality, its very mention now is met with eye rolls, exasperated sighs, and box office disaster.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
You know, it's impressive that Disney Marvel was able to take an evergreen franchise that had a license to print money and turned it into the mess that we got today. I mean, who the hell is running that nut house over there?
Glum gold! Glum gold! Glum gold! Glum gold!
See, that would make sense. You know, there was a time when Marvel would say to the masses, hey, we got a movie set in space with no characters you've ever heard of, with a talking raccoon that's best friends with a tree. And the world would go, yeah, all right, I'll check that out. But now they're like, hey, here's a Captain America movie, and the entire world is saying,
I don't care.
of course, the movie with the raccoon in the tree actually had the raccoon in the tree in it as advertised. The Captain America movie just has Sam Wilson played by Anthony Mackie. Or does it? A recent report stated that Chris Evans, Steve freaking Rogers himself, is coming back to Marvel for Avengers Doomsday.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
But unfortunately, that's all that was said. No other information was offered. But thankfully, That Park Place has sources close to the situation who disclosed a little rumor and innuendo regarding the Evans resurgence. So, what exactly is going on here? Is the deal done? Why would Chris Evans need to return? And how does Anthony Mackie feel about it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on Toontown TV. All right, guys, this report coming to us from That Park Place, written by myself, M. Montanaro. Chris Evans returning to Marvel. Announcement reportedly frustrates Anthony Mackie behind the scenes. Uh-oh, trouble in paradise, guys. Chris Evans may return to Marvel for Avengers Doomsday, according to an exclusive report from The Wrap. However, rumors suggest that the deal remains incomplete and that the announcement has reportedly ruffled the feathers of current Captain America and former Falcon Anthony Mackie. See what I did there with the feathers? You know, the comedy just keeps on coming, guys, no matter whether you want it or not. The Wrap states that Evans' specific role and involvement in the Marvel Cinematic Universe remains unclear, but the report confirms his return. However, circulating rumors paint a different picture of the situation. So yeah, guys, when the Wrap wrote their story, it was literally just like, hey, he's coming back. We think it's happening. We've learned it, and it's happening. So yeah, we don't know what he's doing. We don't know anything else besides the fact that it's happening. Well, that's the kind of news you get when you go to places like The Wrap, the Access Media shill outlets that will only tell you what the studios or the actors themselves want you to hear. That Park Place, however, we've got some sources close to the situation. They've let us in a couple of a little rumor and innuendo, if you will, to talk a bit about what is happening behind the scenes right now. Now, insiders have suggested to us that Evans faces personal financial pressures that are possibly influencing his decision to reprise the role that catapulted him to stardom. Now, reports have indicated that Evans will appear in Avengers Doomsday alongside Robert Downey Jr., who will trade his Iron Man armor to play the villainous Doctor Doom. Downey is rumored to earn a combined $200 million for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Evans, you would assume, would receive a significant paycheck for his return as well. I mean, those were the two guys that basically were Marvel. They were Captain America and Iron Man. They were the Avengers. It was those two guys. And to bring them both back, you got to think you're paying Chris Evans something akin to what Robert Downey Jr. is making, unless it's nothing more than a glorified cameo, in which case they wouldn't have to pay him much at all. Or you know, I mean, more money than you or I will ever see in a lifetime. But, well, depending on who you are, I don't know. I might have some rich viewers. But they said this development reportedly hasn't sat well with Anthony Mackie, whose character Sam Wilson took up the shield and mantle of Captain America at the end of Avengers Endgame. Rumors suggest Mackie and the cast of Captain America Brave New World feel frustrated by the timing of this announcement, which comes just 2 months before their film's release. Many behind the scenes view it as premature and believe it detracts from the spotlight on Mackie's upcoming film. Look, guys, this film needs whatever spotlight it can get. And if that's drawing people in because they feel like they might see Chris Evans in it, then that's what it's going to have to be. Whether Anthony Mackie likes it or not, whether anyone in that cast likes it or not, I have a feeling that I know what Harrison Ford would say if he was asked about it.
I don't care.
But I think that might have been part of the reason why, if this came out of Marvel itself and not from Chris Evans' camp, maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's like, hey, if we let them know that actual Captain America is coming back, it'll drum up interest in Captain America and people will go see this Falcon movie. Now, those feelings stem from reports the deal between Evans and Marvel is not yet finalized. That means leaking this information to the ramp might have been some kind of negotiation tactic from the former Captain America's camp. So, yeah, that's an interesting point, guys. According to our sources, this is not a done deal yet. They have not put pen to paper. Maybe they could be Marvel was taking the temperature of how people felt about it. It could be, a way to drum up interest in the new Captain America movie, or it might have been Chris Evans being like, "Oh, look how excited they are now, guys! I'm forcing your hand. Give me Robert Downey Jr. money." Captain America: Brave New World recently underwent a fourth round of reshoots and now has a budget nearing $500 million. Interest in Mackie's portrayal of Captain America also appears lukewarm, with some industry insiders predicting that the film may struggle at the box office when it releases on February 14th. You think? I mean, come on, guys. This movie is gonna bomb spectacularly when it releases. It looks absolutely terrible. It has gone through 4 rounds of reshoots. The script has been completely rewritten from the ground up multiple times. This movie is going to be a ridiculous Frankenstein's monster. It's both a Captain America sequel and an Incredible Hulk sequel at the same time. It's just a mess. Additionally, Marvel has reportedly been collaborating with Sony to create a unified MCU Sony universe with a soft reboot after Avengers Secret Wars.
I am assuming direct control.
However, now with this Chris Evans news, that project is rumored to be on hold. And this also comes right on the heels of Sony canceling their Spider-Man villain universe, their ill-advised Spider-Man villain universe that started with Venom and will reportedly end this weekend with Kraven the Hunter. Sony's dropped almost $500 million into this, and they've got nothing to show from it. Venom, yes, made money, but diminishing returns with each subsequent Venom film. So and more, Morbius and Madam Web made absolutely nothing. And I think right now Kraven the Hunter is sitting at a 16% review score on Rotten Tomatoes. So I wouldn't bank on that lighting the box office on fire. But I mean, really, guys, it all boils down to what they're going to have him do. If he's coming back as Steve Rogers, more power to you. I'd love to see that. I would love to see Steve Rogers back in the MCU, taking up the Shield again. You know what? They had him in the comics. I remember he was the head of Shield while Sam was Captain America. I mean, look, they've already ruined Nick Fury beyond all recognition. So you might as well just maybe make Steve Rogers the head of Shield and sunset Nick Fury, because I don't ever need to see Sam Jackson in the Marvel universe again after what they had him do in the Marvels. I mean, he was terrible in that. Between the Marvels and Secret Invasion, I've had all I can stand of Nick Fury. And you know what? That's saying something, guys, because that is also bringing to life some major fears and concerns that I have about this film in particular, and possibly bringing back Chris Evans. I feel like this film is going to ruin the Falcon for me. If I had any affection for the Falcon left after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this movie might just do it for me. And are we really going to let the people who wrote Secret Invasion and the Marvels get their hands on Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.? At that point, it's a leave the memories alone kind of thing. Like, let's remember them fondly and not allow these hacks, these putrid hacks who only know how to write self-inserts and identity politics, get their grubby little mitts on them. I don't know, guys. But what do you think? I want to hear your thoughts on this. Can Chris Evans turn things around for Marvel? I honestly think that he can, but it all depends on the execution. The idea is sound. The execution is an entirely different matter, and whether Marvel can execute it or not is up for debate. So sound off if you guys disagree with me. I want to know. Let me know. A respectful, well-reasoned argument can always sway me one way or the other, because I'm not, super, strict and stubborn in my opinions. So, does your subjective opinion rhyme with mine? If not, let me know. Sound off in the comments, guys. Let me know your thoughts. So Chris Evans is coming back, maybe, probably, but we don't know what he's doing, and he's upsetting the established order of things over at Marvel. What's worse, the shill access media is writing articles about why Marvel doesn't need Chris Evans.
Son of a bitch!
I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. Marvel needs Chris Evans. It also needs Robert Downey Jr., it needs Tom Holland, it needs Chris Hemsworth, it needs Chris Pratt, it needs the people who made it the phenomenon that it was. The brass at Marvel made the mistake of believing that Marvel was popular. Marvel itself wasn't popular. The characters that we got to know in these movies were popular. Simply existing in the Marvel Universe wasn't enough to draw people in and keep them. Dressing up a completely different character as an established hero doesn't earn you anything. Instead, you get a Harry Potter moment. No, not that.
This is a lie.
No, not that either. It's a how dare you stand where he stood moment. Marvel's essentially become the ship of Theseus. If you replace every part of Marvel, is it still the same Marvel? No, it isn't. So if you want Marvel back, you gotta actually bring back the people that made Marvel what it was. Otherwise, you're presenting a watered-down, neutered universe that people don't feel a connection to. Now, I personally think RDJ and Chris Evans returning will draw people in, but it all depends on how they're used. That's what's going to determine if they're going to pop the box office for one movie or bring true interest back into the MCU going forward. We know Downey is going to be back as Doom. It's possible Evans might come back as some kind of fascist version of Captain America as well. If Steve and Tony come back as villains for the sole purpose of putting over Sam and Riri Williams, then this is not going to end well. You can't Rey Skywalker this situation. You can't bring back beloved established stars and use them as fodder to get new stunning and brave actors over at their expense. The audience hates that, and Marvel will officially lose at that point.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And if Anthony Mackie or anyone else in the movie formerly known as New World Order doesn't like it, then they can fork over a few billion in ticket sales personally to make up for the lost revenue. This is a job like any other. If you bring in money, then you succeed and you get to keep doing it. If you fail, if the people reject you, then you either get reassigned or you get to step in. No one, and I mean no one, is entitled to your time, your attention, your approval, and especially your money just because they exist. It's no one's God-given right to be in entertainment, and that means you, dear friend, have the power. So support what you want to support, sit out what you don't, and pay very close attention on how people treat you for doing just that. Thanks for joining us today, and a huge thanks goes out to our Tooningtown TV channel members. You guys are the cream of the crop around here, keeping this channel in business. And you're rewarded for that with early access to videos like this one, and with exclusive content like Crime and Punishment, our true crime podcast. So if you're not a member of the Tooningtown TV channel, join today. And make sure to join us for Tooning Talk TV every Thursday night at 8 p.m. EST. It's our live stream pop culture podcast where you can interact with me directly and make your voice heard as an important part of the Tooningtown community. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooningtown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!